Yes. Welcome back. You have damn near made it through the week. It is Friday Eve. It is Thursday night, and it is episode 424 of the Purple Rain podcast. And like I said, just sit down real quick. Javion Clowney episode, Kyle Arrington, Bo Braid, Brandon Carr, Dominique Foxworth, Corey Graham, Marcus Peters, Darian Stewart, Sharice Wright, one of the worst defensive backs I've ever seen play for the Ravens, and most recently, Malachi Stark's edition of the Purple Rain podcast. Thank you for spending your Thursday evening with us. Like Daryl here, who says it's been a long time since he caught up in the chat. I'm glad you're here. Live chat is always the
Yeah,
best chat. Replay game, we
yeah.
do love you. Let us know if you are down there. But live chat, you can just alter the whole conversation with one singular comment. We love it. And thank you for being here, Daryl. And you can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. This guy on Instagram or on X at Sutton Def. Me, Instagram simply AS10. .prod, X simply AS10. Yeah, welcome back to episode 424. We do have a lot of Ravens news to talk about. Surprisingly, it is July 16th, and we are 11 days away from training camp? 11 or 12?
Well,
We getting there?
next Friday, Alex, the rookies report. Rookies,
There we go.
quarterbacks, and injured veterans. Well, I worded veterans, hurt veterans. Jeez, I'm starting off bad already. I mean, knock on wood.
I
But yeah.
guess who would be a hurt veterans, not to like kind of go too much on tangent. Like only thing I can think of is Teddy, Nnamdi.
No, yeah, because Teddy is technically a vet. I don't call Teddy Buchanan a
Right,
doggone
exactly.
veteran yet, but I mean, technically, right?
Yeah.
Outside of that, I mean, you're right. I can't really think of too many guys. Who was out of minicamp or OTAs for an I word? Was Stanley maybe? I can't remember.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Was any of our did we draft anybody hurt this year? Did EDC get like his yearly pick of
Banged
somebody who's
up.
not? Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. No. I think
Yeah.
they're all healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see which
Exactly.
ones report next Friday, literally July 24th. They will be reporting to the castle. Again, that is rookies. That is also quarterbacks. So we expect Mr. Lamar Jackson to be there. I'm sure we'll get some nice media of him. And that's when you're going to know we are back, baby. I mean, it's full speed ahead once training camp starts. Because, I mean, that's where the news cycle, like the news starts to go crazy when training camp starts. So we were only a week away, guys. So listen, what we need you to do, please subscribe to the channel if you are new, because we will be with you every single step of the way this season, throughout every game, every preview episode, every reaction episode, review episode, all that good stuff and everything in between. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also like the video and become a member. There's going to be a lot more perks for members coming up during the season as well. Fantasy Football League is right around the corner too. We will be hosting some of our members in our Fantasy Football League this year. More to come on that. But again, welcome in to episode 424 of the Purple Rain podcast. We got some things to get into today. Eric DeCosta dropping some bombs on us, Alex. So earlier today, you had Eric DeCosta go on 105.7 The Fan and get interviewed by Cordell Woodland, friend of the show. Shout out to him. And then his co-host, Vinny. They asked him a lot of really, really good questions, some kind of hard-hitting questions and some things that you really wanted to know going into this training camp coming up here soon. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the first clip here. This is Eric DeCosta speaking on the I word, some of the hurt players on this roster. This is huge news, guys. Listen up.
Hey, Eric, what about injuries going in camp? To me, there's two main ones. If hopefully Nnamdi's back and then Buchanan, because I mean Buchanan had to have been a surprise to you. And you know what the thing is, Buchanan's a player when you hear Roquan talk so highly about the guy. And then I remember Harbs telling us that all the dude does is make tackles, and that's what he did.
Yeah. Well, obviously both guys are really important to our defense, and I think those injuries last year. Now Teddy's was at the end, but both injuries last year, gut-wrenching in different ways. I'm optimistic about both guys. I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but I think you'll see Teddy sooner than later.
Nice.
He has done a great job. I mean, top 1% of rehabs that I've seen in my time here, which has been 30 years in terms of rehab. Very, very optimistic about Teddy. Nnamdi is a little bit more unclear, I would say. I think everything looks to be pointed in the right direction.
Okay.
But you're talking about a different type of injury, a different type of circumstance. I'm excited about where Nnamdi is.
Okay.
And I think we'll have more information in the coming weeks, like in the next 2 weeks. I think we'll have a lot more information that we'll be able to share with people.
All right. So there you heard Alex, Nnamdi Madubuike, Eric DeCosta say he's excited about where he is in his rehab and recovery process. But also he did say that in about 2 weeks time, about 14 days, we're going to get probably a bombshell news article about the latest and greatest about Nnamdi Madubuike, whether or not he's going to be ready to go week 1, whether or not he's going to miss some time. Maybe we see him Thanksgiving. I don't know. Yeah. Eric DeCosta did mention, with the nature of this I word here with the neck, it's not something just like, it's not like it was a knee or it was like a pec or something like that. This is something that's like actually serious, dealing with like your neurological things and like all that stuff is way more complicated. So when you hear Eric DeCosta talk like this, kind of like a dubious response here, it kind of seems like it's a little bit like, all right, so what are you really trying to say? Does this give you more confidence that Nnamdi probably will be back for week 1 or no?
So I don't think week 1 per se. I think the announcement will be like he will play the season, but he's going to start off on the short-term IR, which, you know what? I kind of hope that happens. I don't want to be ready week 1. Well, I want to be ready, but take your time. Last we need him rush into the season. I think EDC had to catch himself because he said, I'm optimistic about both. I think that's his true feelings. I think kind of let that slip and he kind of pulled it back with the whole Nnamdi thing. But we're in a really good spot. Obviously, we are in the clear. Maybe has to get through a couple doctors, clearances for the neck, which I'm all for, because you don't play with the neck and the back. It's parts of the body where if you're feeling something there, you might as well get it checked out, and the heart as well. Like, you cannot play with those body parts. But if he is ready for week 1, which is a perfect world, I don't think it is. I don't think it will happen. That's best case scenario. But like, if you think about that Thanksgiving season, those colder weather seasons, I know that's when like our schedule kind of gets into the thick of it, like in the run-in per se. That'd be massive. But when you sign Calais Campbell, you kind of have the depth we have. It's good to know that's coming back. If those guys can get it done, play at a really high level, and then you add Nnamdi to it, that's just like it's like a new signing at that point. It really is. Like, you haven't had him for now over a year, over a season, and to bring him back, and who knows what this defense is going to be like with Jesse Minter. It's all good news, and we're not really used to this. And that's why I want to take a step back because like we're Ravens fans. We expect the worst. We've been given back-to-back ACLs and a practice, back-to-back plays in 2021. We've seen our quarterback go down, and we don't even know what is going on. We're told a 1 week I word turns into a 6 week, absence. So I'm kind of here with Void. Don't rush him. But right now, it's good news. As for Buchanan, just want to touch on that. That's fantastic. I think, that linebacker next to Roquan's been a question mark. We knew it was Teddy's, but it's like, will he be healthy for week 1? Will he won't? From what I hear there, that sounds like he'll be ready for week 1. Get some reps in the preseason, get some plays under your belt once again, and then you have him, Roquan, and then if Trenton Simpson's using that role, or maybe off the edge, who knows? We're in a good spot. I'm not used to having this type of good news as a Ravens fan. I don't know about you. I'm a little worried, all right? This ain't normal. This is not normal for us, but I'm very happy.
Yeah, and I agree with the chat. Low Ravens Kraus says here, completely understand and agree with Alex. I do not under any circumstances want this man back too soon. They have a favorable schedule. We have a good defensive-minded coach. Let it be. And that's a really good point there. I mean, just like Alex said, I mean, the schedule early on is not all that treacherous. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the Ravens' first couple of games this season. Ravens at Colts, right? You're dealing with a Daniel Jones, maybe an Anthony Richardson, who knows? Then after that, you're going to go for a Tyler Shuck Saints, who, they've got some pieces now. Alvin Kamara just re-upped his deal with them. They've also got ETN and Olave and Jordan Tyson if he's ready to rock and roll. So maybe, I don't know, but it's not the hardest of games. Then you got the Cowboys in Brazil. You could take that for what it is. It's going to be a spectacle more than anything, kind of a coin flip there if you ask me. I do still think the Ravens come out on top. And then after that, you've got Cam Ward in year 2 with, what weapons does he really have to write home about other than Carnell Tate? I don't really know. I couldn't tell you. Falcons, a little step up in competition here in terms of like skill players, but Quarterback is still like, okay, are they going to go with Tua? Are they going to go with Penix? We really don't know. Browns are going to Brown. We understand that. And then you have the Bengals, Bills, Jaguars, Chargers. Then it gets a little tougher, right? So I like I said before, I agree with the chat. I think that we should hold out on Nnamdi Madubuike. If the sentiment right now from Eric DeCosta is like, is not as pitch perfect as Teddy Buchanan's recovery. So I don't want to say too much, but I'm excited. I want to use that adjective. I want to use optimistic, right? Just so I can kind of like maybe kind of talking to Nnamdi even indirectly a little bit. Like, hey, look, like we want you back. You're posting the workout videos, everything like that. We need to have something to report on. Are you going to be at training camp or not? I don't know. Maybe it was like a subliminal message. I don't know. But the point is, Nnamdi Madubuike definitely does not need to be rushed back under any circumstance. I'd rather have an 80% Madubuike week 7 and on, right? As opposed to maybe a 50% Madubuike and we have him from week 1. I think that's the reason why you brought back a Calais Campbell. I think that's the reason why, maybe one of these other defensive tackles is going to end up making the team. Rashod Benny, we can be deep on the D line, right? Until Nnamdi Madubuike is able to come back and play for us. But I definitely, again, I agree with you, Alex. I think that the schedule is a little bit soft in the beginning, and we should be able to weather that storm without Nnamdi.
Yeah, and I see Void brings up a chat, Rob, but I'm gonna kind of give my prediction. I think that Bengals game, October 25th. I think that's maybe what they're circling. Like maybe that's the date for him to come back. This is pure speculation. If he weren't to be ready week 1, it's like, all right, well, if you missed the first 4 games, that means the Falcons game leads you, week 5, then week 6 of the Browns. So I think week 7 is he'll be back. Not exactly at the halfway point, but I think it's a home game. Yeah, that will be a home game. 1:00 kickoff against your division rival. It might be, you might be at this point battling out for first place. That is my guesstimate. Week 7, Nnamdi returns.
Okay. I mean, and I like that. Again, I love that. So you heard it here first. Us here at PRP, week 7 against the Bengals. That's when we're eyeing Nnamdi Madubuike to return. Now, the Ravens fan in me wants to see him from week 1. Like the fan in me, which again, fan is short for fanatic. I want to see the man in week 1, wrecking pockets and all that good stuff. But, it's another thing. Like as a fan, sometimes you got to eat your vegetables. It's one of those decisions where you got to just eat. You got to do what's right, for the body. We had to draft Vinga Ioane. We got him. Okay, Nnamdi Madubuike, he's a little bit banged up. Let's hold him off just for a little bit more. We want to see him out there, but let's just hold him off. That way we can have him in December, January, and hopefully February. But here we have Void with the super chat donation says offensive line is being put through the ringer this year. What do you mean by that?
Being put through the ring. Some of the players, some of the teams we face defensively. I mean, you got Buckner week 1 with the Colts.
Okay.
I mean, for what it's worth, Cam Jordan week 2.
Yeah.
I actually like the Cowboys defense.
Quinn Williams.
I mean, I think they've. I don't agree with trading Myles Garrett, but the fact you get a Quinn Williams, then you get Caleb Downs kind of falling to you in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Good pieces to build around. Titans, Jeffrey Simmons, which will always be a test, and you got the Browns, obviously. I mean, Jared Verse is there now. Bengals have a revamped defense. I mean, the good thing is like we'll kind of know early in the season, and I saw actually funny enough talking about the O-line. I saw Ethan Poach is like fully healthy. So you're start seeing his name get thrown around with possible tryouts, workouts. Who knows if he can sign an active roster, practice squad, but that's kind of who I'm looking at now. Like, do we trust Pinter this much? Javon Gwynn? Because if not, we'll be seeing Ethan Pochitz is flying to Baltimore for a workout. If all goes well, he'll get signed. Do I think it'll happen? Probably not. I feel like, EDC and Co has like their pride up there because they don't want to be proved wrong. We've seen this before. But I'm looking forward to seeing where he lands in. But no, the O-line for sure will be tested come week 1, and preseason's so big for us. We'll see how these backups do and how these fringe starters do as well.
For sure. I mean, there's some great points there. There will be some kind of tough tasks to face defensively down low in those first couple of weeks, even though, maybe the skill players and quarterbacks maybe aren't as high octane as some of the guys later in the schedule. So great point there. Miss Fancy Pants in the chat. What's going on, Miss Fancy Pants? Also, she says, what was said about Beaks? If you're just getting in here on the live, EDC said that he is optimistic, right? And he's very positive about where Madubuike is at in his recovery right now. but it is still kind of like it's kind of up in the air still. But they will have more information for us 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now. That was kind of the biggest thing we took from this. That's when we're going to get some real hardcore concrete news on whether or not Nnamdi Madubuike will play this season. So we'll continue to monitor that, of course. Now, the next thing, Alex, that was discussed in this Eric DeCosta interview was the contract of Zay Flowers, right? And whether or not Eric DeCosta would like to get an extension on that done this season, well, before this season.
Where are you on maybe a Zay Flowers extension? Is that something that you would like to get done before the start of the season?
Yeah, definitely, Cordell. I love Zay. Zay wants to be here. We want Zay here. He's got a great agent in Joel Siegel and Jeff Garmhausen. Those guys are really good agents. We've had good conversations. Nick Matteo does a phenomenal job negotiating, and certainly a work in progress. Optimistic about it. Feel like at some point we'll get done. I hope it gets done. We love Zay. Zay's a phenomenal football player, and his energy is infectious, and I expect him to have a great year.
Where are you?
I need energy from you, Eric. That was a very monotone response, but optimistic is the word I'm hearing for back-to-back topics, which is good. I guess what we're all wondering about is where the price range is, and we I think me and you together have a range where I feel like is a good deal. But with some of the contract receivers, again, it's all right, if it pushes to me that 40 million mark, it's ugh.
Yeah.
That's a pretty penny. That 33 to 36, that to me is that sweet spot right there. I hope it gets done, but it sounds like from EDC, I mean, take his words for what they are, not his voice and his tone, but it sounds good to get done. And this to me screams like a mid-season type extension. Zay's probably having a good year, couple of touchdowns, and yeah, it's funny. Cordell, anybody is one who asked this question as Zay kind of get him quotations in a one tweet. But yeah, I mean, good news, and that would be really the first receiver we extend to big money in franchise history if it were to happen for Zay.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point about how this is probably going to be a mid-season thing. I could totally see the Ravens seeing Zay Flowers have okay. This is my hope. Zay Flowers by week 4, if he's got 2-3 touchdowns, and maybe 1 or 2 of those games he goes for 100 yards and really kind of asserts his dominance across the NFL. Hey, look, I'm here and I'm here to stay. I'm not the Ravens wide receiver 1. I am a bona fide wide receiver 1, and I can be that on any team. If he establishes himself as that within the first month of the season, Alex, then I could see Eric DeCosta saying, okay, hold on, pump the brakes, Zay. Before we let this get out of hand, we're going to go ahead and sign you now. We're going to lock you down right now. How much you want? You said 36? All right, cool. We'll go ahead and we'll lock that up now before that 36 becomes 46, right, after the season or something crazy like that. So, no, that's a really good point, Alex. I like that. I like that a lot. On the flip side, if you have a guy like Rashod Bateman, a guy like Jacoby Lane, and dare even Elijah Surratt, Tez Walker, if one of those guys pops off in the very beginning of the season and kind of emerges as the new wide receiver 1, quote unquote, then Zay's value starts to depreciate just a little bit because, okay, if there's another guy on this team that can be a legit 1, then what are we going to pay you almost $40 million for when we're going to get the same level of production on the cheap for the next 3 years? So it can go one of 2 ways. I can see it going one of 2 ways. Eric DeCosta says himself, we love Zay. Zay wants to be here. We want Zay, all that stuff. So hopefully they get it done. But like you mentioned, I think it's definitely going to be something that happens in season.
Yeah, Eric loves his midseason extensions. Obviously, not for the quarterback, but we've seen it many times where it'll be a random Tuesday afternoon. You get the freaking bomb from Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, and I can see this being one. And you make a good point. If he does pop off, it's all right, what does Zay want to sign now? Is he backing himself to continue this trajectory and have? This is not me trying to be a delusional Ravens fan. If he has kind of like a JSN season where he's by far and away puts up these crazy receiving yard numbers, touchdowns, all right, well, now his market's just skyrocketed. It'll be an interesting negotiation, but if he does have 2 to 3 the first couple of games, couple of good games, at 36, that's looking pretty good. You're signed up for the next couple of years, and then you kind of just go full steam ahead to get Lamar locked down. But I do think this happens. I don't think EDC will let the first receiver he drafted to become, I'd say, not even respected, because I don't think his A is respected, but to have the accolades he has, I think he'd be the first one, and he'd definitely get him locked down. And Garnett, good evening to you.
Yes, sir. Salute to Garnett. Thank you for coming through, brother. Yeah, totally agree with you there. Now let's go ahead to the next subject. All right. Joanne says here, bait again. Come on, man. And that's who we're talking about next. It's actually where we're going next here. Eric DeCosta also talked about Rashod Bateman and whether or not he can have a bounce back season. Let's take a listen. And I'm watching the chat. I'm monitoring the chat during this segment too. Okay. Don't think I'm not. Here we go.
Hey, Eric, the guy, and I'm a huge fan because I coached at the Gophers and I'm from Minnesota. I love Bateman. You know, how do we get him consistent, Eric? That's going to be the big thing because we saw 2 years ago the dude can make plays.
Yeah, well, he's a phenomenal athlete, great route runner. You know, Rashod it's right there in front of him. He's shown flashes of being a real problem for other teams. You know, his mindset is good. I'm really, really excited to see how he does this year with Declan in this offense. And everybody's excited about him. He's gonna have a lot of opportunities this year. Last year was just kind of a lost season in some ways, but that's no indication of the type of player that we think he is and how he can help us. I love the guy.
Okay. Clean it up.
You know, I know he's probably his biggest critic, but he's a playmaker, and I expect him to have a great year this year. I'm excited about him, and I can't wait to see how he looks in this offense.
All right, Alex. So that was Ravens GM Eric DeCosta on what he thinks about Rashod Bateman. And let me just say, to kick this one off, Alex, I almost had to put Eric in the book just because of the lack of enthusiasm that he started that answer with. I was not messing with that. I wasn't messing with that at all. He was even more monotone than when he was talking about Zay Flowers or pretty much anything else that he talked about so far in this interview. And I didn't really like that. Now, he did clean it up towards the end. Okay, he did say that it was kind of a lost season. And I love the fact that he said that. Last season, like that's EDC kind of opening up there. Nobody's really talking about that, but like, yes, it was a lost season. The players echoed that sentiment, and now you are as well. That's how you know that Eric DeCosta has like fully turned the page on, the whole Harbaugh era and everything that happened last season and beyond. So I'm happy about that. And I'm also happy about the fact that he cleaned up his Bateman thing and he thinks that he's going to, have a bounce back year, and he's really positive about, his outlook on him for the season. But what did you take? What did you take from Eric DeCosta talking about Mr. Rashod Bateman here?
Yeah, I don't know if EDC didn't have his, cup of joe this morning, woke up with the wrong side of the bed, wasn't up to this interview, but he has not given me any type of emotion. It's all been monotone, just bland, blah. But trying to read through the lines so we can close the door on a Rashod Bateman trade. That's not going to happen. I think slim chance. I'm pretty close to just slam the door shut. Maybe we'll creep it open a little bit, but I doubt that happens. It's all good things. I think what he said about last year being a lost season, I definitely think John being gone has allowed Eric to open up and kind of say what he wants to. Because can you imagine him saying a lost season was if Harbaugh was still in charge? Because I think of 2021, there was nothing. I mean, that was the most lost season of it all. You start off so good and you lose almost every starter. How can you even compare or even judge a season during that season, from the first half to the second half? So I think definitely John being gone allows Eric to be a little more open. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but that's how I see it, because we were told Super Bowl or bust, and that's an awful mentality to have. You've never played anything, never won anything. We all remember that. I mean, you're at the end of the bar with me. What are you sipping on right now? Since we're at the end of the bar. I mean, that's what we were called, end of the bar fans.
Yeah.
But going to the Bateman thing, I mean, it kind of just echoes what we've been saying. Declan to offense, clean slate. But we'll see it in 2 weeks at training camp, and then hopefully in week 1. I'm not sure he plays in the preseason. I don't know if Minter's going to play guys in the preseason. It wouldn't surprise me if he did. but I think he's full steam ahead of week 1. So it's good to hear. I think that kind of instills more confidence in Bateman. Like, you had a bad year last year, but that's not on you. Look at this guy and this guy and this guy. A lot of guys didn't have their best seasons last year. Bad O-line, quarterbacks down. You went through some stuff too. Chalk it up and we move on. Ball up top. So it's good to hear from Eric, but yeah, you don't really hear that from him though. He's kind of come out, kind of had his back compared to other times where he just could have been like, I expect good things from him, but he kind of went more in depth and detail, which I do appreciate and I respect from Eric DeCosta.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely respect that as well. I just would like him to have just a little bit more enthusiasm in his voice, right, when he's talking about my guy Bateman, because I think he's gonna have a big season. I really do. I really do. I think it's going to be, you know. I tweeted something earlier today, Alex. I was like, if you are judging pretty much any skill player and their production based off of last season for the Ravens, that's a choice that you're making because you either do or don't like said player, right? And as much as I talk about Zay Flowers, as much as I talk about Mark Andrews, even guys like that, I do still give them grace. I give them a lot of grace because I know what the circumstances were last season with that offensive line. I know what, they were up against in terms of like the coaching or lack thereof with John Harbaugh. It just seemed like everything had gone stale. It seemed like everything had just hit its expiration date, quite frankly. And like, that's another reason why I love the fact that he fully admitted here, Eric DeCosta did, that it was a lost season. Because that's exactly what it was. And now we're turning the page. The season was lost ever since that Buffalo game, week 1, last year, where we got walked down from being up 15 with 5 minutes to go on national TV. That deflated us completely, complete adrenaline dump. And for the rest of the season, we were staggering. It felt like a typical Conor McGregor fight, to be honest with you. Like we came out swinging early, and then we got put on our ass. And then after that, we were just kind of like, all right, I'm just here. Not the same sting on the shots anymore. We're kind of tired, and then eventually we got put out of our misery. So it is what it is. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, to echo your statement about, judging last season, for me, it's no bigger than Mark Andrews. I think last year was his lowest total ever. That's including his rookie year when he was like the second or third option. Since 2023, he had 544 yards in 23. He had 422 last year. In 23, he played in 9 games, I'm sorry. I know we harp on Andrews for the playoffs, but in the regular season, he puts up the numbers. The touchdowns, the catches, the yards. When he's not having a good season, that's how you know something's wrong. And throughout those first 17 games. But I'm right there with you. We look at the defense as well. Like, it's so hard to judge those guys. But it's like, who played on the defense last year at a high level that you can really say? For me, Kyle Hamilton. Woozy played well. But Mike Green, Malachi Starks, that wasn't there. Travis Jones tried his best, but it was, 1 against 5. So last year being called a lost season, I'm all for it. Just start off faster and much better than we did week 1 of last year. And we got to get into the top 100, by the way, talking about Kyle Hamilton.
We do. Yeah, we will. We definitely will. So here's another clip here. Eric DeCosta talking about how he's so impressed with this coaching staff so far. Let's take a listen.
Eric, how's your opinion been of what you've seen thus far of your new coaching staff?
Yeah, excited. That's I've talked about it. I mean, obviously, I hold John in a very high regard. Coach Harbaugh, he's a great friend, and we grew very close. And that was a challenging period of my life. And Vinny, like you've been through it. Yeah. Hiring coaches is tough, man. And the whole process, people think it ends when you hire the head coach, but then you've got to hire, 20 to 30 assistant coaches. And that's a process that we worked through effectively, I think. And got him here, and I've been really, really impressed. I think Jesse did a great job finding the right personalities. It's a good mix of some veteran coaches and some younger coaches, some college coaches, which has been exciting. Different perspectives, viewpoints, ways of doing things. I think it's been energizing for our players. I think the practices have been good. I've been impressed with a lot of these guys. And
appreciate the
jewels.
jewels.
Good job in the draft meetings, which is really one way that I work closely with them. We use our coaches a lot in the draft process. Every team is different, but we really use our coaches a lot. and I was really impressed with the detail that they showed, the enthusiasm for the process, their ability to communicate what they thought about the players, and then even the undrafted free agency.
Yeah, so I want to pause right there, Alex, because something that he just said really kind of set something off in my mind. And it was when he said that, they really lean on their coaches for the draft. Now, why is that important to me? Well, the reason for that is for the last 18 years, it's been John Harbaugh and his staff, right? And over those 18 years, you've kind of seen trends of certain types of players and positions that the Ravens have been able to develop and have hit on, and certain trends on position groups that the Ravens have not been able to hit on. So my thinking is that with a complete brain drain in the building, and then like putting a brand new brain in there with all these new coaches headed by Jesse Minter, we could potentially see a shift, Alex, in the type of positions that actually end up excelling out of the Ravens draft classes. For example, wide receiver is a position that the Ravens historically have not been able to draft. I mean, to this day, we call Zay Flowers our best drafted receiver. And I like Zay Flowers, but honestly, that's sad. That's really sad. So it's been kind of like the thing for so many years that we can't draft receiver. But now that you have Declan Doyle in the building, right, who's worked with, Sean Payton and Ben Johnson, and he's from that tree, right, from that elk, and then you have Jesse Minter, who's a young, really spry coach. He knows a lot, and he's super, super motivated, determined, focused, all that good stuff, detail oriented, all that good stuff. I think we could potentially see this year. It really just gives me more hope for Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt. I think one of those guys could potentially be a breakout candidate. I know we're not used to seeing it, Alex. We're not used to seeing it at all. So nobody's really expecting Jacoby Lane or Elijah Surratt by week 10 to be like, oh shit, one of the top receivers in the league. But it's a possibility with this new coaching staff, since they're relying on them, they're leaning on them in the draft, don't you think?
Yeah, I think I was just gonna echo that as well. You think of some of the players we've drafted in the third round, and I know Surratt and Lane are day 2, and Surratt was first pick of day 3. At a point, it was just like all fun and games, like in La La Land with the old regime. Like, oh well, my dad's brother's neighbor like this guy. You know what I mean? Like we would hear stories like that of why players were picked. It's picking guys I think who fit the criteria and fit the way their defense wants to play. And I love that. I do. I think it gives me more hope. I actually think back to, I think it was a 2016 or 15 draft. We drafted Camille Correa. Remember him? Linebacker edge. We switched his position. We drafted him actually before Derrick Henry was drafted. Fun fact. And he came out and he kind of said how he didn't like it here because we tried to play him in a position he never played before. And I think you can go down the list with a lot of players in the old regime. We would draft them, move them to a place they never played a snap or they played very minimal snaps, and their careers were depleted. Play guys to their strengths. How long have you been saying that? How long have we been saying? How long has the chat been saying that? Play a guy to their strengths. Stop putting this guy on screens, if he can go down the field 10, 15 yards, make a catch and go upfield. We've seen that. Stop playing a guy as a linebacker when he played an edge at college. Play these guys to their strengths. And I think Jesse Minter and Co. will do that. And you bring up, how involved they are, getting guys that fit the scheme. And I love that. And I think it makes me more excited for the season. And like preseason, those 3 games, I'm going to be probably tuned every single snap. I cannot wait because for fans like all of us here, we know the 6th-string cornerback. Believe me, I'll be watching Robert Longerbeam and Bilal Kone, come the 4th quarter in the preseason. I'm ready for it. Undrafted guys, like who's going to make the team? But yeah, this coaching staff, I couldn't be more pleased right now with them.
Oh, Alex, I'll be watching the entire preseason games just to see the next flight jerseys. I mean, they're gonna be rocking those. That'll be the first time we see those in action. So I'm gonna be watching just for that. On top of all the players that are gonna be fighting for a roster spot as well. And preseason right around the corner. Right around the corner. I think that first game is against the Eagles. I want to say I wish.
If you're in Baltimore, take us like $20 right now, just get lower. Preseason game, nothing but vibes. Honestly, you can go there, have a drink, watch the game, You don't have to, cheer too hard. Game don't matter at the end, but just seeing those guys, man, I love a good preseason game.
Yeah, same here. All right, let's move on to the last topic here from this Eric DeCosta interview. This one was where, what do you say here? Okay, yeah, so this is the one where Cordell Woodland asked EDC about the center position.
We're talking to Ravens GM Eric DeCosta. Is Vinny and Haney on 105.7 The Fan. And Eric, I did kind of want to drill in specifically on the center position because we know that was.
By the way, what up, Dwiz? Appreciate you for coming through, brother. Long time no see. Hope you're doing all right.
Leaving the draft by your own admission, that was kind of the position that you were a little, I guess, disappointed that you weren't able to attack over draft weekend. And I know you guys were looking around trying to see if there were any external options that you can add to the guys that you already had in-house. Where are you on that? Are you feeling better about your in-house options, or do you feel like you still are looking around the league?
Well, I think that what gives me optimism, I think, Cordell, is that Dwayne Ledford is really, really happy with our group. Dwayne has done a great job over the years with all different types of centers, skill set wise. He's developed some guys. He's had some veteran centers, but he's done a great job developing guys. He's really, really high on Danny. He's high on Jovan. He's high on Corey Bullock. That being said, our job is to always improve the roster when we can, and we're doing that. We're looking at guys. We're had conversations. Again, we don't have to play games till September, and so I think that sometimes it has to fall the right way, whether it's a free agent, whether it's a trade. Do I feel that Danny could play effectively for us? I do, because Dwayne is really high on him. And I love that. When a coach has confidence in a player, that's a great thing for a GM to know and to feel. And so Dwayne loves our group. He's a phenomenal coach, and I'm excited to see that offensive line play at a high level. And like I said, I'm not sure what that offensive line is going to look like. Is it going to be different between now and September when we play games? Very well could be. If we stay status quo, I'm also confident, though, that we have the talent and the ability on our roster to win a lot of football games.
All right, Alex. So right there, kind of, breaking it down, Eric DeCosta is basically saying that Danny Pinter is number 1, Jovan Gwynn is number 2, and right now Corey Bullock is number 3. And apparently Dwayne Ledford is in love with all of them. Cool. Okay. But he also says, with that being said, and these are his words, not mine, quote, with that being said, we're always looking to improve the roster. So that's what we've been doing. We've been looking at guys, sometimes it has to fall the right way towards, somebody has to get a cut or whatever has to happen. But I think they've been doing their due diligence, Alex, and we might see some more competition at center here soon. What do you think?
I'm right there with you. I think that last sentence about him saying, confident in the guys, that was to save him, I feel like, because the 2 minutes before was like probably a minute and change. He was talking about the center, was basically to me saying, the coach likes the guys, but I still kind of have my doubts about the center position, is what I took from it. And I think we will see maybe a Pochich or somebody else come in for a workout. And listen, I know you like your guy, Coach Ledford, but a little competition couldn't hurt. Why not? Let's see what he has. I mean, he's played at the big leagues before. He's played as a starter. Put him against Pinter. What did Pinter have? 9 snaps? Or was it Javon, or one of the two? Had 9 snaps total?
Oh, yeah. I think it was Pinter.
Okay, yeah. Throw him in there. Let's see. There'll probably be a vet minimum. Basically, just a long shot, and let's see what he has. So, yeah, I think one is coming. I'm not sure who it will be. If I'll bet money, probably Pochich. Because the news that he's all healthy and he's ready to sign for a team, everything happens for a reason. That comes out, and now this, I'm just trying to put the two together. I think, if anything, it would be him. And he has AFC North experience.
Yeah. And like you said, what would it hurt bringing him in and having some more competition? Another thing that Eric DeCosta mentioned in the full version of this interview, which, again, you can go watch on 105.7 The Fan Baltimore's YouTube channel. And, again, shout out to Vinny and Cordell Woodland, friend of the show, for doing this earlier with Eric DeCosta. But another thing that Eric DeCosta had said was, GM is like the best job in the world until summer's over. Because when summer's over, you kind of have to put all of the trust and faith into the team. Your job is done, and you basically become a fan for the next however many months football is being played. So I think if I'm Eric DeCosta, I'm like, okay, if I really want to make one last move, right? I see like a little leak there at center. I just want to give you one last little piece there to help patch that up. You can figure out how you want to apply it or not, but I'm just going to give you this piece. Just try this for me. This is going to be my last offering to the team before September starts and it's off to the races and I can't do anything. So I do love that Eric DeCosta is aware of the deficiency at center right now, at least on paper, and he might be trying to do something to kind of shore that up. That does give me some confidence there. So again, great interview put on there from 105 to 7, The Fan at Baltimore Sports Radio. We appreciate them for doing that. And again, if you enjoyed that segment of us breaking that down, please be sure to like this video. Not only that, please be sure to subscribe to this channel as well. This is the Purple Rain Podcast. We go live every Monday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and then also throughout the week in between that as well, around about 5:30 or 6 for Quiet Storm Sports. So pretty much every day we're breaking down this Ravens team or something sports related. Okay. But let's go ahead and move on here to our next topic. Alex, what do we have here? Oh, okay. So here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. So I saw this earlier today on my feed about one Stefon Diggs again, where Stefon Diggs is back in the news. And apparently 5 teams have checked on free agent Stefon Diggs in the past couple of weeks or so. And Jeremy Fowler links the Ravens to Stefon Diggs. So, Alex, for the umpteenth time, I will ask you, Stefon Diggs and his 85 catches for 1,013 yards and 4 touchdowns in 2025, does that interest you this year for this Ravens offense?
It does pique my interest. I'd be saying no would me be lying, because Zay, Diggs, Bate, Tez Walker, Jacoby, Surratt, it's crowded, but we've gotten some banged up players at times, and throwing a rookie in there, maybe not the best idea, but you know what? I'd be interested. Money has to be right. I think mentality has to be right. It's like, you're not going to be the one. I believe the Chargers are interested as well, the Commanders. So for him, it's kind of what situation puts me in the best spot, not only for me, but for my career as well. And I don't think Baltimore is the best spot for him. I'll be honest with you. Would I like to happen? Yes. But if he wants to go somewhere and, get some targets, you go to LA right now, it's you, Lad, and QJ. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
You and Terry. I mean, Debo got some targets even with Terry there last year. Terry was on the decline. You could maybe take some targets from him. Like, Zahir is the one. I think we've made it clear, so it's hard to get targets from him. I would like to bring him back. Right price. Still don't think it's going to happen. I've been saying that I don't think it will happen. I don't think he wants to be here. I don't think this offense fits him because he'd be getting a lack of targets. But if he will want to come back home to Maryland, I'd be open to it.
Yeah, it's a hell no for me. It's a hell no for me, dog. I'm not on the Stefon Diggs train at all. I tweeted that earlier today, and I got a bunch of backlash. Oh, Sutton, why don't you want weapons for Lamar Jackson? Oh, Sutton, why can't we have both Stefon Diggs and Jadeveon Clowney? Because I've been saying that I want Clowney. But when it comes to Stefon Diggs, you mentioned something that kind of caught my ear. You said the money has to be right and the mentality has to be right, which is very true, but that's not the end of it. See, here's the thing. A lot of things have to be right in order for a wide receiver to produce. Quarterback has to be on time. Offensive line has to block. Scheme has to go your way. Play call has to go your way. Game script has to go your way. So it's a lot more than just like money and mentality. And I just don't think, like, when you add all those things up, how productive is Stefon Diggs going to be in an offense where he cannot command 6 targets per game like he did in New England? Because we have Zay Flowers here, who's going to command 6 targets per game. And for all you Ravens fans out there who are all aboard the Stefon Diggs train, oh yeah, bring him to Baltimore. Definitely bring him to Baltimore. Why not? Like, definitely. I've said this before. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. You cannot sit up here and tell me that Zay Flowers is a top 5 wide receiver. Hell, some of you guys have said top 3 wide receiver in the AFC. That is, in the AFC. But then also say, oh, we need a Stefon Diggs. Because why? I mean, what's the point? You got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. You got Zay Flowers, who's, again, bona fide number 1 receiver. Top 3 wide receiver in the AFC. By the way, do you agree with that? Alex, would you say Zay Flowers is a top 3 wide receiver in the AFC?
I like the guy, but no.
Would you say
really
top
do.
5?
So I'm putting. Let me think through it. Jamar,
Yep.
AJ Brown.
Mhm.
Trying to go through each.
Nico.
Oh, definitely putting him.
Would you put T. Higgins? I'd put T. Higgins.
I haven't seen T. Higgins be a 1. That's my problem. And that's not. I'm not trying to discredit him from that, but
we've seen him make 1-like plays.
he has.
Can I interest you in a Cortland Sutton?
Am I putting
Had 8 touchdowns last year, 1,000 yards last 2 seasons.
So did Zay. So yeah, I mean, just the touchdowns holding him back, but they don't have Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry's a lot of touchdowns in that red zone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can make a case for top 5. You can make. I'm not saying he's in my top 5, but I see you can make a case for it. And Void here says 2 things can be true. Let Diggs free up Zay. That's kind of where I'm at. So I pulled up the bit. I hate doing this, but I'm gonna do it. So DJ Moore had 682 last year yards, 6 touchdowns. Rome Odunze, 661 yards, 6 touchdowns. Luther Burden, 652 yards, 2 touchdowns. My problem here is Rome Odunze had 90 targets, only 44 receptions. Which, if I'm a Bears fan, I'm looking at that's stinky. 44 receptions on 90 targets. Something's going wrong there. And it could happen. It could work. I mean, look at the Eagles. AJ Brown, Saquon Barkley, Devonta Smith. They go out midseason trade for Jahan Dotson and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with this. I really don't think he wants to be here.
Right. I think it's one of those things. I look at that documentary clip or whatever it was that he posted, I think last week, where he was in the sauna or something like that. And he was talking about how there is no wide receiver 2 better than me. The guy still has that ego, right? And I would want him to have, I want my wide receivers to have an ego. That's not the problem. But I think that the problem would be that, okay, he's going to come into Baltimore and be like, move over Zay. And like, nah, I don't see that happening. You know, so I just don't see, again, like we've been saying the past couple of weeks, the juice is not worth the squeeze. I don't see it. I don't see it. I see the chat's going crazy here. Stefon called himself a number 2. So what's the problem? Okay. I mean, that's a good point. Queendom come. He did say that. Yeah, I'll go somewhere. I'll be the 2, whatever. I just think that, and you talk about the type of receiver that Stefon Diggs is. If we were going to go out and get a free agent wide receiver, or just go out and acquire a wide receiver in the offseason in general, let's not half step, right? Let's not half step. We weren't about to half step when we were about to go ahead and get Max Crosby, you know? So why didn't we pony up some capital and try to go and get AJ Brown or something? If you really wanted to be serious, George Pickens, if you really wanted to be serious about the position, let's not half step now, because we've seen this before. Realistically, how much more is Stefon Diggs going to do for this offense than D-Hop did, than Odell did, than what are the other big name wide receivers that we've bought in, the vets, over the past couple of years?
Deshaun Jackson, Dez Bryant.
Those 2 are a little bit more on the.
When we got Mike Wallace, he was good here in a couple of years.
Yeah, that's true. That's
kind
of a throwback by this point. Yeah.
Jeremy Maclin.
Let me see.
Wasn't that good?
Diggs' worst full year and Bates' best. Read them aloud. Oh, come on now. I'm not doing that. I never said Rashod Bateman was a better wide receiver than Stefon Diggs. I never said that. Now, by the time this season is over, some of y'all might be singing a much different tune. But my point was always that if you got a bona fide wide receiver 1, You've still got Mark Andrews. For however y'all feel about Mandrews, I think that he can have a bounce back season, and that's still one of Lamar's favorite targets, by the way. So with that being said, and you got Derrick Henry, Stefon Diggs, this is not the place for him. Like you mentioned, LA Chargers. Go to LA. Play with Justin Herbert. It's going to be nice, warm weather out there. You get to play at SoFi. There's women, right? Everything that you want. Parties and whatnot. It's cold here in Baltimore. You know, you're from here. You want to go have fun. You want to party, have fun. Mike, appreciate the jewels, brother. Appreciate those jewels.
You know, I feel like you brought up Odell. I feel like thank you. I feel like the reason we say Odell is maybe because of the contract. It was like 16, 17 mil. He had 35 receptions, 565 yards, 3 touchdowns in 14 games. He was supposed to be the 3. Obviously, the contract wasn't the best. Like, he did not have a bad year. He was not bad for us. We got the last serviceable year of Odell before he went to Miami, was not good, and now he's with the Giants. But if I'm getting Diggs, if we were to sign Diggs, I'm expecting 700 minimum and like 4 or 5 touchdowns. I know he can still be a 1,000-yard receiver. It's just off the field stuff I'm worried about, which I see more and more come out as the days come on Twitter. And then it's the sideline as well. Like, is he gonna keep his cool? Is he gonna flip out Lamar? Like, this is a close knit offense. Like, you see the brotherhood that Lamar and Derrick Henry had year 1, and I think it's just grown. Lamar and Zay, training in Florida, boxing together, side quest in Florida. Would that alter it? I would hope not, but that's now up to the general manager, Eric DeCosta.
It is indeed. Replay gang, let us know down below in the comments section. Do you want Stefon Diggs on the Ravens or not, and why? We want to know. Also, be sure to like this video as well, whether you're part of the replay gang or if you're watching live right now. We appreciate you. Either way, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts after the fact, shout out to you as well. We appreciate you. Okay. Now, and I also want to give a shout out. I haven't been doing this. Shout out to everybody who watches over on Kick, however many of you are watching over there. We have been live on there for a while. So shout out to you guys as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and move right along here. Alex, what else do we got? So there was a list. These lists have been coming out left and right here, Alex, this offseason as it wraps up. ESPN, Jeremy Fowler, top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. Here's how the list goes. And I want to get your take on it first and whether you like, love, or hate this list. So number 1 on the list is Jamar Chase. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. Number 3, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Number 4, Puka Nacua. Number 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Number 6, CeeDee Lamb. Number 7, George Pickens. Number 8, Nico Collins. Number 9, A.J. Brown. And number 10, Devontae Adams. When you see that list, do you like it, love it, or hate it, Alex?
I don't love it. I really like it. That's a really good list. And that, to me, it's very NFC dominated. If you notice that, there's a lot of NFC. Like, we kind of call it life. That's why I think maybe we can talk about these, top 3, 5 receivers in the AFC, because the NFC just dominates. Like, that's what 2 teams on there with 2 players in the top 10, Cowboys and Rams.
Yeah,
unbelievable. I really like it. Jamar for me is my 1. I think he did it with Flacco. Any quarterback that's been back there, he's done it. With Jake Browning, he was putting up numbers. With Joe Flacco, he put up numbers. With Joe Burrow, he put up numbers. Mm-hmm. We see with Justin Jefferson, like, he didn't really put up the numbers that we expect him to put up with McCarthy. Puts him up with Darnold, but I'm not mad at him at 2. I think I'm still good with him there.
I don't like him at 2. I don't like him at 2. Yeah, I don't, because he didn't put up the numbers. If Justin Jefferson deserves to be number 2 after the season that he had last year, then Lamar Jackson deserves to be much higher on the quarterback rankings. Like what's up with that? Because Lamar didn't put up the numbers, but we all still recognize Lamar as one of the most talented quarterbacks in this league, much like they're kind of giving the credit here to Justin Jefferson. He's obviously one of the most talented wide receivers in the league, but he did take a step back. So I think he deserves to get bumped at least underneath Jackson Smith and Jigba, maybe even Puka Nacua as well.
He put up 1,000 yards with Carson Wentz and J.J. McCarthy.
1,000-yard season.
I hate to say that's kind of impressive with those guys.
It is, but if you look at what Jackson Smith and Jigba did and what he
I do
did,
agree.
right? And Puka Nacua was a little bit banged up last year, so maybe I'd put Justin Jefferson 3,
Okay.
Puka 4, and then
I'm
go
not mad
on
at
from
that.
there. Yeah.
If JSN's your 2, I'm not mad at that because the season he had last year was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Puka, top 5, not mad at it. I'm surprised A.J. Brown made the top 10 if we're talking about, last seasons. As an A.J. Brown fantasy owner last year, he pissed me off a lot. But if we're going to, kind of judge him off of previous years like I did with Justin Jefferson, I'm fine with him at 10. I really am. Devontae Adams still in the top 10 in the Big 26. Hey, hats off to him because after he left the Jets, people were like, does he still have it? I mean, is he washed? He's going to be in the washed athlete videos and those gifs with the Rams uniform. Want to know? He's not. Made some big catches in the playoffs.
Yeah. Big red zone guy last year.
Yeah. I want to know, how close are some other guys to the top 10? Who else got votes? Do you have that list as well?
Not from the ESPN list.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that it went beyond top 10 on the ESPN list, but I do have the one that PFF put out. They put the top 32 in the league. Okay. So I wanted to kind of look at that next, just see where Zay is at because I'm sure he's in there. But yeah, I mean, for me, Alex, I don't like AJ Brown at 9. I'm not a fan of that. How I feel about AJ Brown. I think that he is on his best day the most dominant, an emphasis on the word dominant receiver in the league in terms of he can do whatever it is you need him to do, whatever it is, right? You need him to block. If you need him to go over the middle on 3rd and 6, if you need him to go deep, if you need him to catch a ball in the up the seams, anything. He can do anything, and he's super physical too, and he's fast for his size. So I like AJ Brown. I probably would have put him at number. Honestly, I'd put AJ Brown right behind Amon-Ra. I put him right behind Amon-Ra, and shift everybody down one. Devontae Adams will become my 11. That's how I feel.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Let me see this other list here that I had from PFF because that one was interesting too. I think they had. Let me see. Here it is. Okay, so PFF ranks the top 32 wide receivers heading into the 2026 NFL season. They have number 1 Puka Nacua, and going down from there, Jackson Smith and Jigba, then Justin Jefferson, then Jamar Chase, then Amon-Ra St. Brown, then AJ Brown at 6 for them, then CeeDee Lamb at 7, Nico Collins 8, George Pickens 9, Drake London 10, and then you got Zay Flowers coming in at number 11 here on this list. So, Alex, I gotta ask you, do you think that Zay Flowers, is he too high here or is he too low?
I'm seeing some names below him.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
If we're looking at production, I really like Garrett Wilson. I really do. Like T, I'm not mad with Mike Evans being below him. I think he'll be in I don't think this will be a good year for him, especially in San Fran. Waddle is going to be. Yeah, I don't think. If you could look at their past I words, they have an awful history. And Mike Evans with the soft tissue stuff, the guy pulled a freaking hammy going for a ball. I think he caught it and then pulled his hammy he's still trying to run. I don't think if he plays 10 games, that's a good season.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah. Who? Mike Evans?
Oh no. I was asking you. I was going to see what else you had to say about Zay if he's too high or too low. Yeah.
I'm gonna go through. Yes, over Olave. Yes, over McLaurin. Devonta Smith is. That's tough.
Pushing it.
That's pushing it. I'm cool with it over Waddle. Cool with it over Diggs. Wilson and Higgins are kind of throwing me off, but we haven't seen Wilson with their quarterback in how long?
Tay Adams, we're definitely taking him over Tay Adams. I mean,
if Tay were to come here, he'd be a 2. I don't think he's that 1 anymore.
And how many yards did Devontae Adams have last year?
Let's see.
Because I know he had a good amount of touchdowns. Was he really a red zone merchant? That's what
60 receptions, almost 800 yards, 14 touchdowns. God.
14 touchdowns. You talk about efficient. I mean, yeah, red zone merchant for sure. So yeah, I mean, if
In
I was starting a
14 games, by
franchise
the way.
today and I had the chance to pick Devontae Adams or Zay Flowers, I got to go with Zay Flowers just because the youth side of it. But 14 touchdowns, man, that's he's still an animal. So that one's kind of iffy for me too. But I'll respect Zay and keep him above Tay Adams. Cortland Sutton, though, that's again a guy who I think is right there with Zay. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He had 8 touchdowns last year. I don't know if I could put Zay above Cortland Sutton definitively. I just don't know.
Is this for fantasy? This feels like it's for fantasy. 'Cause I feel
Well, I
like,
mean, this is Sleeper NFL, Pro Football
guess,
Focus.
yeah.
Pro Football Focus. They don't say anything about fantasy.
Okay.
And even if it was, though, would it? I mean,
I
even
feel
if it
like
was for fantasy, who's the number one wide receiver projected to go in fantasy right now? I don't even know.
Might be-
Would it be Puka? I would
You just do
assume
a
it'd be
mock-
like
I'll look at mock
JSN.
drafts
Yeah, I would go JSN
for a
after what he did last
12-teamer.
Then again, you want somebody
Jamar.
with
They have Jamar, then
Jamar,
Puka, then
yeah.
JSN.
Yeah, I forgot about Jamar. How could I forget? Jamar, Puka, then JSN. That sounds about right. Because what they're banking on is the quarterbacks. You got Burrow throwing to Jamar, Stafford throwing to Puka, and then you've got Sam Darnold, who just came off of a Super Bowl, but people are still going to sleep on Sam Darnold because he is indeed Sam Darnold. But interesting nonetheless. See, me personally, I think that they have Zay Flowers just a touch too high here. I think that Zay Flowers in more so of that maybe 13 to 15 range is where I would have him. But after this season, especially if Jesse Minter and Declan Doyle make it a point to make him more of an actual wide receiver and not just a gadget guy who catches wide receiver screens and things like that, then yeah, I think he can soar up this list, especially considering how much Lamar Jackson just loves to throw the ball to him. I think he can finish this year as a top 10 wide receiver, maybe even a top 8 wide receiver, but the touchdown production must be there. And for that to happen, he's got to put his foot in the ground, trust his speed, and run straight. He's got to do that. But yeah, so interesting list here. You guys know it's list season. List season is upon us. It's almost over because we've got training camp starting up again next Friday. The rookies and the quarterbacks and the hurt veterans show up next Friday for training camp, the very first day. So it's going to be great. And you know what? I think that the Seattle Seahawks, they might start tomorrow. Just like, I know we're not Seahawks fans. Nobody's a Seahawks fan in here, but like, it just goes to show you that football is indeed back, right? Football's back. It's time pretty much. So there's that. Now we have to move on, Alex, to our final topic of the evening, which is a topic that I know you hold very near and dear to your heart. Yesterday, we had the Semi Cup final for the World Cup. Man, I mean, listen, man. Did I say Semi Cup final? Semi-final World Cup game. Sorry. Argentina, I mean, that game had my head spinning. Argentina does it again, down 1-0 in the beginning. England kind of rests on their lead a little bit, sat on their hands, and at the very end of it, Lionel Messi just turns back the clocks. Or I don't even know if I can call it that. I mean, the dude is like an ageless wonder, and he gets two beautiful assists to end the game. What did you make of Argentina knocking off England yesterday?
You know, there's a saying, why do bad things happen to good people? Why do good things happen to bad people? You know, why? They don't deserve this, but they're fans. They don't deserve this, but somehow, some way, this happens. Well, I could go through a whole tactical vision of what happened, but it's simple. England scored and they parked the bus. Parking the bus is putting everybody in defense. There is this thing called a field tilt, and it kind of shows where the ball is being played at the time of the match. And up until the 60-something minute before England scored, it was all over the field, all over the pitch. When England scored, it was just in the attacking third of England.
Interesting.
Argentina was there the final 30-some minutes. Thomas Tuchel, the manager of England, famously has the slander name of not the Taliban, the Tuchel Band, because of the football he plays. It is defensive like that. It is awful, and you saw he brought on not like a couple of defenders, 3 defenders, and at this point you're playing to win 1-0. The problem is your guys you're bringing on aren't that good. And what if you give up a goal? What if you go down a goal like we saw? You had Ezri Konsa, a center back or right back, defender nonetheless, playing right wing. That's what happens. So with that being said, if I can translate this into NFL terms, you're up a touchdown, and you see what the Ravens do. Prevent defense. It's kind of the same. It's like man up 3 deep, kind of, and you're only up by a field goal. And they score on you, and it's so frustrating because England are like the Bills. Honestly, they have a damn good roster. Hell, Harry Kane, Josh Allen. I mean, I'll say it right now. I mean, I wouldn't know where Harry Kane was these past 2 games. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I didn't really notice him making a big impact.
That's Harry Kane for you. Don't worry, there's every excuse for him of why the team failed him.
He kind of got lost on the field for me at times, you know? Like, I always know where
Harry
Messi's
Kane
at.
Fashion.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah. And to me, it's no surprise that when Declan Rice comes off, England can see 2 goals. It's just everything that went wrong for them did. What I loved is Jude Bellingham. God, I didn't know I could love him more than I do. I think he was showing fight to the end of the whistle, got into it with some Argentinians. Would love to know what was said there.
About? Yeah.
I'm telling them Argentinians, man. I'm telling you, there's some bad people. But Spain versus Argentina final. This couldn't have been worse for me. I don't know. I want Spain to win, but let's be real. I'm not going to bet against Messi. They're going to win it. It's probably going to be like 2-1, 1-1 after 90 minutes. Messi scores an extra time, they win.
Oh my gosh,
it's going to happen. I like Spain to win. That means you get Yamal kind of crowned as this like the king of the next generation, which he already is, but this really stamps it. You really can't compare any other youngster to him. This guy has a World Cup and Euros at 18 years old. And he already played at Barcelona. But yeah, it just England, man, they played scared. They played scared, and they deserve to lose. Hate to say it, they deserve to lose, and we've seen it happen with our Ravens. How many times have we been up and we say, we deserve to lose that game because the way we played at the end?
Yep.
We didn't play to win, we played not to lose. And how many times do you lose when that happens? So, congratulations, Argentina.
Yeah, congratulations to Argentina. When I was watching that game, I could tell when you look at the fans, the Argentina fans in the stands, they have like such an affinity to this team. Like, it's everything to them. Like, they look at Lionel Messi like he is like the Messiah. Like it's crazy. And you know what was funny about that game? I think it was maybe sometime during the game, maybe it was before the game. You had Jude Bellingham and Lionel Messi kind of jawing back and forth, right? And at one point, Lionel Messi just kind of says, "All right, cool, noted." Right? It's like he put him down and like he wrote him down as like a little book or something like that. Like, I got you. Watch this, And he went out there, and in the last 10 minutes, he was just brilliant. He didn't score a goal, but he was brilliant. And the leading instrument into getting, that's another thing, Alex. Like the crosses from Lionel Messi are just so on point. It's like whatever teammate he wants it to go to, it's like they have a magnet in their shins or they have a magnet in their forehead. Like either one or the other. Like it just perfectly curls to them, and I don't know how he does it. I don't. I was speechless.
It's the fact that he's not only a threat, scoring, it's just the passing as well. His passing is sublime. And I think that's kind of what separates him from the other good goal scorers is he can set you up just as well as he can score on you. And it feels like you kind of have said everything you can about him. We know he's the best of all time. That debate's been over for 4 years now. It's hard to really compare it. As someone who likes Ronaldo a lot, you really can't make an argument. It's been dead. It's you're staring at a wall arguing if you really think Ronaldo's the greatest to ever do it. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
But talking about Spain, I mean, we didn't talk about them, how they lost to France. France honestly deserved to lose. the problem with them, sorry if I'm going to lose people, their attackers don't press up. Their attackers don't want to defend. Their attackers don't want to win the ball back. Not to say they're lazy, but they expected it to just come to them, and they expected it to be easy.
They
Mbappe,
didn't fight for it.
Elise, Dembele, yes, they did not fight for it. Because if you look at their clubs, Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich, respectively, they're three of the best clubs in the world.
Loaded.
Yeah, you're not really doing that defensive dirty work. Messi, I think, is like in the top 5 defensive stat-wise of tracking back and, fighting for that ball back. Hate to say it, I mean, why is a 39-year-old doing that and you 20-some-year-olds aren't doing that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think, what separates the greatest from the good. So, I think it'll be 2-1 Argentina, win the World Cup. They're second back-to-back. They're third overall. But, yeah, man, it's going to be a good matchup.
I didn't know the kid from Spain. What's his name again?
Lamine Yamal.
I've been Lamine Yamal. It's been killing me like the past couple of days. But I didn't know that like he had like taken a baby picture with Lionel Messi.
Damn photo.
That is so like storybook. Like it's amazing.
It's not like you as a kid being drafted by the team you supported growing up like in the NFL. No, this is like to have a picture with Messi already, and for you to take over and kind of come through the ranks the way he did at Barcelona, and now be at the level he's at, like you want to question it. You want to have a conspiracy theory about it. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's
it's unbelievable.
FIFA superstar mode, whatever that is. Like where like you come up, you start your own career and all that stuff, and it's like all storybook, and that's what it feels like. So, I think that I can't really predict who's gonna win. I can't sit here and act like I know enough about Spain or Argentina to give an actual prediction, but it does feel like I saw what you tweeted yesterday. They do feel a little bit inevitable right now. This Argentina team does, because even if they go down, I mean, we've seen it against Egypt. They were down 2-0, right? Against England, they were down 1-0. And each time they just kind of like dug deep and pulled it out at the end. And it's amazing. It's magical. That's what it feels like. It's like it's magic right now. And I don't know if Spain is going to be able to match up to that. So my heart is telling me, or my gut is telling me, Argentina. I'd say 1-0, to be honest with you. Yeah.
And you can see it now, that first goal they scored. Oh, Spain's only, giving up one goal the whole World Cup. You can hear that. But for me, Spain's midfield is so good. Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, that's a great pivot. Defense has been doing good. Goalkeeper's been doing good for Spain as well. I mean, the fact they shut out France is a testament. And now, what's even funny, we have a third place match on Saturday between France and England. That means nothing. It means something to me because I took Kylian Mbappe to win the Golden Boot, so I hope he plays and scores some goals. But on Sunday, it's going to be massive. I'll tell you what, that halftime show they have, that's going to be
Who's
good
performing?
too. It's like BTS, Shakira, and it's Justin Bieber. I think this is his
Shakira, Justin Bieber.
This is his audition for the Super Bowl, I think. I really do think that. If he can knock it out of the park with the World Cup, I think he'll be doing the Super Bowl.
That's a good point. And it's a pretty diverse lineup there. You take care of most audiences with those three artists. But yeah, that's a good point. If Justin Bieber does knock it out of the park with this World Cup performance, then I could totally see the NFL saying, "Hey, you wanna maybe do the Super Bowl this upcoming year?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." And he's got the hits for it. So I mean,
talk about it.
It would be big too. It'd be huge. So we'll see. Maybe got to put some money on Polymarket or something like that for next Super Bowl performer. Justin Bieber. You might have just put me on. Anywho, I think that's gonna go ahead and do it for us here on this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 424. Thank you guys all for coming through. Before you get out of here, please be sure to like the video. Like the video on your way out. It would mean the world to us. It really would if you would do that for us. And subscribe if you are new and you enjoyed the content you just consumed. We appreciate you. Replay gang, we appreciate you. If you stuck around all the way to the end and you weren't even here live, you are the GOAT. We appreciate you. Make sure you comment down below. Put hashtag replay gang and let us know your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, and whatever you got here from this episode of the show. But until next time, which will be tomorrow, because, Quiet Storm Sports, we got our happy hour stream tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. But until the next main pod, Alex, go ahead and take us out.
thank you for coming through. It's a 424 of the Purple Rain Podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
Yes, yes, yes. And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God and may purple rain.